everyday emotions. A deeper understanding. Every day, we experience a wide range of emotions. These emotions can be positive, like happiness and excitement, or negative, like sadness and anger. Sometimes we even feel neutral, which might seem like feeling nothing at all. But even that is a kind of emotion. We often move through these emotional states without stopping to consider their impact. But emotions are more powerful than we realize. They influence not only our thoughts and actions, but also our physical health. Learning to manage and understand these emotions can be challenging, but it's an essential part of leading a balanced life. In Master Your Emotions by Thibaut Meurisse, we explore why it is important to understand our emotions, why we struggle to avoid negative feelings like sadness or frustration, and how we can view our emotions in a more productive way. This process helps us reduce the intensity of negative emotions and embrace the positive ones more fully. The impact of emotions on our well-being. We often take our emotions for granted, assuming they are just natural reactions to whatever happens in life. But emotions are more than that. They play a critical role in how we experience the world. They influence our mental state, our interactions with others, and even our physical bodies. Stress from negative emotions can lead to issues like headaches, fatigue, or a weakened immune system. On the other hand, positive emotions like joy or gratitude can have healing effects, boosting our mood and energy levels. Yet, emotions aren't just good or bad. They all serve a purpose, even if some make us feel uncomfortable. Emotions are signals, alerting us to how we are reacting to our environment. When we feel joy, it's usually because something aligns with our values or desires. When we feel anger, it may be because something threatens our sense of fairness or security. Even neutral emotions, like boredom or indifference, can tell us that we need a change or a new challenge in our lives. Understanding our emotions is the first step in managing them. This doesn't mean avoiding negative emotions altogether. That's impossible. Instead, it means recognizing them, accepting them, and learning how to respond in healthier ways. Underscore 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 underscore. The survival mechanism. Why we feel what we feel. To better understand why we experience certain emotions, it's helpful to look at our evolutionary past. Humans are wired to survive. Our ancestors lived in dangerous environments where their main concerns were hunting for food, staying safe from wild animals, and protecting themselves from the elements. Back then, fear and anxiety were useful. They helped early humans remain alert to danger, boosting their chances of survival. Although our world has changed dramatically since then, our basic survival instincts haven't. Today, we no longer need to hunt for food or run from predators, but we still have the same brain wiring that was crucial to our ancestors' survival. This ancient survival mechanism is called the negativity bias. It means that our brains are more likely to focus on negative experiences than positive ones because, historically, negative events were more likely to pose a threat to our survival. For example, if a tribe member was rejected by their community, their chances of survival dropped dramatically. Without the tribe's protection and resources, they were more vulnerable to attacks from animals or starvation. As a result, the human brain developed a strong focus on negative events to avoid danger. Even though modern life isn't as physically dangerous as it was in the past, this negativity bias is still present. If your boss criticizes you at work, or if you have a falling out with a friend, it can trigger the same feelings of threat and insecurity. Your brain treats these situations as though they are life-threatening, even though they are not. This is why emotional pain, like sadness or rejection, can feel so overwhelming. Although the negativity bias helped our ancestors survive, it doesn't serve the same purpose in our world today. The good news is that it's possible to counteract this bias by actively focusing on positive emotions and experiences. Doing so can significantly improve your overall well-being. Underscore, 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 underscore. The role of dopamine in happiness. Happiness isn't just about avoiding negative emotions. It's also about seeking out positive experiences. One of the key players in this process is a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine is often referred to as the feel-good chemical because it's released in the brain when we engage in activities that bring us pleasure. These activities can include eating delicious food, exercising, or achieving a personal goal. When dopamine is released, it activates the brain's pleasure center, giving us a sense of happiness and satisfaction. However, this system isn't foolproof. Many people chase after the dopamine rush by engaging in unhealthy behaviors, such as overeating, using substances, or engaging in other forms of addiction. This is because the brain loves the feeling dopamine provides, and once it gets a taste, it craves more. A common example of this is what psychologists call hedonic adaptation. This is when you experience a short-term spike in happiness after achieving something or acquiring something new, like buying a new car or phone. At first, the new object makes you very happy, but eventually the feeling fades and you return to your baseline level of happiness. This cycle of chasing after fleeting happiness is something many people fall into, especially in a world where material success is often equated with personal happiness. However, true, lasting happiness doesn't come from external factors like money, new possessions, or even status. According to happiness researcher Sonia Lubomirsky, 50% of our happiness is determined by our genetics. 40% comes from our internal mindset, and only 10% comes from external factors like money or life circumstances. This means that while external achievements may give you a temporary boost, they aren't the key to long-term happiness. Instead, focusing on your mindset and how you approach life is far more important. Underscore, 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 the nature of emotions, understanding and managing them, handling your emotions, especially negative ones, is a skill that requires practice. You may have noticed that trying to push away negative feelings like anger or sadness doesn't always work. In fact, sometimes the more you try to resist an emotion, the stronger it becomes. A more effective approach is to acknowledge that emotions are temporary. No emotion, whether positive or negative, lasts forever. For example, imagine you wake up late and you're immediately stressed because you have to rush through your morning routine. This feeling of stress or frustration can linger even after you've caught up with your schedule. But if you remind yourself that this feeling is temporary, you'll find it easier to let it go as the day progresses. Instead of seeing negative emotions as obstacles, it's helpful to see them as signals. They're telling you something about what's going on in your life. Anger, for instance, might be a sign that something isn't fair or that a boundary has been crossed. Sadness might be telling you that you've lost something important. When you start to see emotions as helpful rather than harmful, you can use them to your advantage. This doesn't mean you should wallow in negative emotions, but rather observe them without judgment. Penelope, for example, often feels irritated when she wakes up late. Instead of telling herself to just get over it, she acknowledges her frustration and reminds herself that it will pass. By separating herself from the emotion, she doesn't let it control her day. Changing how you interpret events, since only 10% of our happiness comes from external factors, it's clear that the way we interpret events in our lives plays a huge role in how we feel. Two people can experience the same event and react in completely different ways depending on their mindset. For example, Katie heard a rumor that she might be laid off from her jobs. Initially, she saw this as a huge problem. She was worried about how she would pay her bills and what people would think of her. But after some reflection, she realized that losing her jobs could be an opportunity to pursue her dream career. By changing her interpretation of the event, Katie shifted from feeling anxious and fearful to feeling excited about the future. This concept can apply to many areas of life. Society often puts pressure on us to meet certain expectations, like getting married or having children by a certain age. But just because everyone else expects something doesn't mean it's the right path for you. It's important to question these assumptions and make choices based on what truly makes you happy, rather than what you think you should do. Worrying about the future is another common source of negative emotions. But worrying doesn't change the outcome. Instead, it keeps you stuck in a cycle of anxiety. Focusing on the present moment and doing your best in the here and now is a much more effective way to live a happy and fulfilling life. Underscore 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 letting go. The key to emotional freedom to maintain emotional health. It's important not to bottle up your emotions. Suppressing emotions like anger or bitterness can harm both your mental and physical well-being. When you suppress emotions, they don't disappear. They often resurface in unhealthy ways, such as stress, anxiety, or physical ailments like headaches and digestive issues. A healthier approach is to observe your emotions and then let them go. This doesn't mean ignoring how you feel, but rather acknowledging the emotion without letting it define you. For instance, if you feel angry, you might say to yourself, "I feel angry right now, but this doesn't mean I am an angry person." By labeling the emotion and viewing it as something separate from yourself, you can begin to detach from it. Underscore 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 underscore. In summary, emotions are a natural part of life, and learning to manage them can lead to greater happiness and well-being. By understanding how your survival mechanism affects your emotions, changing your interpretation of events, and letting go of negative emotions, you can master your emotions rather than letting them control you. Emotions are not your enemies. They are tools that, when understood and managed properly, can help you live a more fulfilling life. Understanding your emotions and how to let them go, your perspective on emotions, often ties back to your reaction. For example, rather than saying, "I am sad," you can reframe it by saying, "I feel sad," or "I am experiencing sadness." This slight change in wording may seem minor, but it can have a powerful effect. It creates a bit of space between you and your emotions, making it easier to process them and eventually let them go. When you say, "I am sad," you make your sadness part of your identity. But by saying, "I feel sad," you acknowledge that sadness is just a temporary feeling, not a permanent part of who you are. Letting go of emotions. Learning to let go of emotions is crucial to emotional well-being. There are two common reasons why people struggle to let go of their emotions. 1. Emotions reinforce the stories you tell yourself. When you feel a strong emotion, like sadness or anger, it often reinforces the negative story or narrative you tell yourself. For example, when you feel sad, you might start thinking of past events or future worries that make you feel even sadder. You might dwell on negative thoughts like, "Things never work out for me," or "I'm always going to be unhappy." Unfortunately, people tend to feed into their negative emotions, making them feel even worse. 2. You believe you are your emotions. Another reason people hold on to their emotions is that they believe their emotions define them. If you're feeling anxious, you might think, "I am an anxious person." If you're angry, you might think, "I am an angry person." This creates an identity around your feelings. But the truth is, emotions are temporary. You are not your emotions. They come and go like clouds passing through the sky. Until you stop identifying yourself with your emotions, you'll stay stuck in negative cycles. Emily's story. Setting achievable goals. Take the example of Emily, who felt incomplete compared to her friends and coworkers. She thought of herself as a loser because, while others were achieving major life milestones, like buying homes or getting promotions, she felt left behind. As a result, Emily became jealous of her peers and began to feel like a failure. In response to these feelings, she decided to take action by creating a daily to-do list with small, achievable goals. At first, Emily set unrealistic goals that were impossible to achieve in a single day. For example, she wrote down that she would jog for an hour every day to improve her health. However, this goal proved difficult to accomplish without prior training. When she failed to jog for an hour, she felt even worse about herself and started to believe she was incapable and incompetent. Realizing this was a harmful pattern, Emily adjusted her approach. She set smaller, more realistic goals that she could achieve in a day. For instance, instead of jogging for an hour, She set a goal to jog for 10 minutes. As she met these smaller goals, Emily's confidence began to grow. She no longer felt stressed about failing, and as a result, she gradually let go of her negative feelings. This process showed her that setting achievable goals was a way to boost her self-esteem and reduce unnecessary emotional stress. The Sedona method, a way to release emotions. Another effective technique for letting go of emotions is the Sedona method, which was introduced by Hale Dwoskin in his book. This method offers 3 ways to release emotions. 1. Don't hold on to your emotions. The first step in the Sedona method is to recognize that holding on to negative emotions only causes harm. For example, if you're feeling angry or upset, it's important to let that emotion pass rather than clinging to it. Many people tend to hold on to negative emotions because they feel justified in doing so. But by letting them go, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and emotional pain. 2. Make space for your emotions. The second step is to make space for your emotions in your life. This doesn't mean you should ignore your feelings or pretend they don't exist. Instead, it's about accepting them without letting them take over your entire experience. For example, if you're feeling sad, acknowledge that sadness and allow yourself to feel it, but don't let it define your day. By doing this, you create room for the emotion to exist without overwhelming you. 3. Welcome your emotions. The third and final step in the Sedona method is to welcome your emotions without judgment. This means observing your feelings closely and understanding where they come from. For example, if you're feeling anxious, take a moment to ask yourself why. Is it because of a specific situation, or is it a general feeling of unease? By welcoming and observing your emotions, you can better understand their source and begin to release them. Applying the Sedona method. Step-by-step guide. Here's how you can apply the Sedona method to let go of difficult emotions. 1. Focus on one emotion. Choose one specific emotion to work on. It doesn't have to be a strong emotion. It could be something small like feeling irritated while waiting in a long line or feeling anxious about an upcoming event. 2. Ask yourself key questions. Once you've identified the emotion, ask yourself the following questions depending on which method you choose. Oh, for the first method, can I let this feeling go? And will I let this feeling go? Oh, for the second method, can I let this feeling be here? And will I let this feeling be here? Oh, for the third method, can I welcome this feeling? And will I welcome this feeling? 3. Answer honestly. It's important to answer each question honestly and thoughtfully. There are no right or wrong answers, and the goal is not to force yourself to feel differently. Instead, it's about understanding your emotions better and giving yourself permission to let them go. 4. Ask yourself when. The next step is to ask yourself, when will I let this feeling go? The answer should always be now. It's important to release the emotion in the present moment instead of putting it off or making excuses. Delaying the release only prolongs your emotional discomfort. 5. Repeat as needed. Finally, repeat this process as many times as necessary until the emotion fades or no longer feels overwhelming. This might take several rounds, especially with deeply rooted emotions, but persistence is key. The Sedona method may seem deceptively simple, but sometimes the simplest techniques are the most effective. By practicing it daily, you can gradually become more in control of your emotions and less at their mercy. Emotions as guides to positive change. Although emotions are temporary, they can be powerful guides in your life. For example, no one enjoys feeling uncomfortable or unhappy, but these emotions often serve as signals that something needs to change. Let's take the story of Harriet. Harriet was constantly stressed and felt stuck in her life. Nothing seemed to make her happy, not her job, her relationships, or her accomplishments. After some deep reflection, Harriet decided to make a major life change by moving to a new city. This turned out to be the best decision of her life. In her new environment, Harriet found joy in the small things and woke up each day feeling excited for what was ahead. Her emotional state improved drastically, and she experienced happiness she hadn't felt in years. This example shows how important it is to listen to your emotions. If Harriet had ignored her constant feelings of stress and dissatisfaction, she might never have made the change that brought her happiness. Emotions are often messages from our inner selves, letting us know when something isn't right. If you pay attention to your emotions, they can guide you toward making positive changes in your life. Practicing self-awareness. Jim Dethmer and Diana Chapman's book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, introduces a valuable concept for emotional awareness. Asking yourself whether you're above the line or below the line. This simple question helps you gauge your emotional state and decide whether your actions are productive or destructive. Being above the line means you're in a positive, self-aware state. You're able to reflect on your emotions without getting caught up in them, and you remain open, curious, and willing to learn. When you're above the line, you take responsibility for your actions and feelings, and you consciously choose how to respond to situations. On the other hand, being below the line means you're stuck in negative patterns. You might find yourself constantly blaming others, engaging in gossip, or shutting down when faced with different opinions. When you're below the line, it's hard to control your emotions, and you may feel trapped in a cycle of negativity. By practicing self-awareness and asking yourself whether you're above or below the line, you can become more mindful of your emotional state. This awareness helps you make better decisions and avoid getting stuck in negative emotions. Recording your emotions. One useful tool for becoming more aware of your emotions is recording them. By keeping a daily log of your emotional experiences, you can gain valuable insights into your patterns and learn how to manage your feelings more effectively. To start, write down the emotions you experience each day for a week. Rate your feelings on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst and 10 being the best. At the end of the week, total up your scores and reflect on the patterns you notice. Were there certain triggers that cause negative emotions? Were there particular activities or thoughts that helped you feel more positive? By regularly reviewing your emotional log, you'll become more attuned to your emotions and better equipped to handle difficult feelings. Over time, you'll start to recognize the triggers and patterns that lead to negative emotions and you can take steps to manage them more effectively. In summary, emotions are temporary experiences that come and go. While negative emotions can be uncomfortable, they often contain valuable messages. By learning to observe your emotions and let them go, you can create space for more positive experiences in your life. Additionally, emotions can guide you toward personal growth and help you make necessary changes when something isn't working. Here are the key takeaways. 1. Negative emotions are part of our survival instinct, but they don't have to control us. 2. Emotions are temporary and will eventually pass. 3. Reframing your perspective can help you maintain happiness even in challenging times. 4. Don't block your emotions, observe them, and release them. 5. Self-awareness is essential for recognizing when emotions are trying to guide you toward change. 6. Keeping track of your emotions allows you to manage them more effectively over time. By practicing self-awareness and letting go of negative emotions, you'll become more resilient and better equipped to handle life's challenges. Thank you for tuning into this summary of Master Your Emotions. We hope you've gained valuable insights and practical tools for managing your feelings. Please like, comment, and share this video if you found it helpful. And don't forget to subscribe to Audiobook Official for more content on personal growth and emotional mastery.